Excuse me. Hello, 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 everyone. This is not news most Athenians don't like, but it's like this. Okay, it's like this. FEMA. Trump citizens are only getting $750. No, that is to get you a setup of emergency right then and there. Like get some diapers, medicine, etc. Like just immediately. So, lie. Even the Republican governors in those states said they are being handled. And the president, Biden and Harris, have said, whatever you want, whatever you need, I'm just a phone call away. All the states that was affected by this. And let me see. Let me see if I have. Wait 1 second. I'm trying to find the name of all the states that were effective. I think it's this one. Okay. Let me go back to where my stream is. Let's add this. Which one do we want? Is it this one? Yeah. Minutes. Okay. I'm going to share this one. Okay. This is North Carolina blames Trump for father-in-law refusing FEMA help. Okay. So I'm going to play this, and, YouTube, they want to strike me fine. But this needs to be said to people. This is what people do. They believe everything he says, which is false. So here it is. I'm going to start it from the beginning.
Carolina is pushing back on the disinformation and conspiracy theories Donald Trump and his allies continue to spread in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene and now around Hurricane Milton. In an email to his constituents yesterday, Congressman Edwards, who represents Western North Carolina ravaged by the flooding after Helene, wrote this, quote, "These conspiracy theories, while certainly frustrating, have done more harm than most people may realize. The spreading of falsehoods has diverted state, local, and federal resources from helping NC-11, his district, recover toward refuting hearsay and repeatedly trying to set the record straight." Congressman Edwards went on to write that it is disappointing to have to spend an email dispelling the outlandish rumors being spread online about Hurricane Helene response and recovery. Meanwhile, a North Carolina man is blaming former President Trump for his father-in-law's refusal to get help from FEMA. A man identifying himself as Anthony called into the Dan Abrams show on Sirius XM saying his father-in-law in Asheville only believes the former president, and it is actually breaking up our family.
My father-in-law lives just outside of Asheville, North Carolina, and he was badly damaged by Hurricane Helene. And he has refused all FEMA help because he's a hardcore Trumper. And he literally believes that if he accepts anything from FEMA, they're going to take his house. I don't understand how so many people are under the spell of this freaking con man. I don't understand it.
Well, it's absolutely heartbreaking about your father-in-law. I'm so sorry to hear it. I hope.
Man, it's hard to even imagine it. I mean, he lost almost everything, and he's refusing all help from the federal government and complaining to us that he doesn't have food, that he doesn't have the stuff he needs, and yet he won't accept the help. What the hell are we supposed to do? We're not in a position to be able to fly across the country and help him.
Yeah.
There's people begging us to get him to accept help, and he won't do it.
Wow.
And I guarantee you, I'm not the only one. I guarantee you, I'm not the only one.
Imagine.
I wish there was something I could say as to, I don't know. Does he have access to any electronics where you could send him some information debunking this, and that he might?
We've done all of that. We've done all of that. We've sent him all the FEMA bulletins. We've sent him all the stuff from the fact checkers. He doesn't believe it. He thinks it's all, he just believes Trump. Literally, Dan, it's a cult. He's a cult member. I'm sorry to say it. He's a cult member. And he's my father-in-law, and it sucks.
Just one story there after the storm. Joining us now, longtime political strategist, our good.
Okay. So there you go on that one. And you all really love that Trump? He's making people not want to get their help. Now, how's that? How's that all Trump ever does is say negative things about our country? He's insulting us day in and day out that our country is so bad, so bad. Well, you know what, Trump? If you feel our country is that bad, go away. Go find another country that you feel is great. Because I am an American, born and raised here, and I'll tell you what, yes, there's some bad times in that, but you know what? One, God never puts no more on your shoulders than you can handle. And if you can't handle it, there's someone else over there willing to help your back, to help you get that through that. Change my America? No, I want my veterans to have their benefits. I want my Social Security disabilities and that come in. You want to go and destroy all government platforms so you can put in whoever you want. Now, people there who might listen to this, I know a lot of you won't, but it's like this. Trump wants to be a dictator. If you think I'm lying, go check out his own words, and not just on Fox, guys. Go check out other places where they're not telling a lie. I never liked Trump at 2016. I surely would never voted him for 2020. Now 2024? Hell no. Hell no, I would never. I might not be the most intelligent person or the one that has words to say correctly, but I'll tell you what, there are people out there who do know how Trump is. Why do you think over 40% of Republicans in the government are going over to Democrats? Huh? People who've been long time Republicans are now going over for the Democrats. Here's the reason. He is taking a place that he wants to be a dictator, and he even stated one time at one of his speeches, I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care about you. And you'll never have to vote again. Now, what does that mean? I would never have to vote again. So are you telling me that the dictator thing is real? that I'll never have to vote again in my life? Oh, come on, people. When people say things, believe them at times. You might not believe it might be a kind of a joke every once in a while. Yes, but when they repeat it in different ways, and that is who that person is. Trump is only for Trump. Trump wants to put, what is that, tariffs on all the things that come in to America. A lot of people say, yeah, I'm glad he's going to do that. Okay, I'm going to tell you. Let's start with the car. Yeah, our cars can be made here in America. That is true. But do you know the parts of that car is made out of the country? So that tariff that they're making our parts over there in another country for a cheaper field, and they send them over here, China or any other country is not paying for that. We are. We are, because that company over there is not going to take the loss, because they're going to pay more tariff. No, we are going to pay that as an American, because that tariff goes back to us. They're going to raise our company, or Ford dealers or whatever is going to pass on the buck of how much more that tariff costs. So in otherwise, those who own big companies will get a bigger shot of money. You will lose. You will lose at least, I think, wait a minute, I don't know the amount, but the tax dollars amount that you will have to pay more in the end is a lot more money. I'm sorry, I can't remember the amount. Okay. Let's watch the next one. Okay. Wait a minute. I gotta go from page to page. Okay. Okay. I forget how to. Okay, there we go. Now I can do this. Let's do Pete Buttigieg. Now, if you don't know who he is, he was running 1 year for president. Okay. Now, here's the thing with that with him is that he is gay. Trump does not like any gay people. None. Okay? 1 second. I want to make sure. Got to add it. I forgot to add it. There we go. Now, this is Brian. Is he a Democrat? Yes. But he's an honest Democrat. He honestly just reports what is being said, done by Trump and that, or any politician. Okay? So I'm going to play him. And like I said, YouTube, you want to strike me? People need to know this. People just really, really need to do this. And the title is Peter Buttigieg shuts down Trump over hurricane lies. Okay?
Pete Buttigieg, thanks so much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me on.
So I want to direct your attention to this moment from Trump in Michigan just this week.
That's what's happening. They stole the FEMA money just like they stole it from a bank so they could give it to their illegal immigrants that they want to have vote for them this season.
In the aftermath of the hurricane, Harrison Walls stole money from FEMA to give it to illegal immigrants so they would vote for them. Obviously, an outrageous lie. Can I have your response to what he said? And what has this administration and FEMA been doing to help people in the aftermath of the hurricane?
Okay. Why would Harris go and steal money from FEMA to get votes? That sounds more like a Trump thing, not Harris. Remember, Harris is an ex-prosecutor, very high and intelligent. Trump only puts down American people. He thinks you're all stupid. No, y'all just need to wake up and see what is going on out there. Don't believe one person. Don't believe one person. Look around and study. But here we go. Oh, yeah, he's Department of U.S. Department of Transportation.
Yeah, it's false. It's easy to prove that it's false. And, without getting into the campaign side of things, I can just tell you this is an administration that has been on the ground from day one, actually before day one, pre-positioning people to do what FEMA does best and what emergency responders do best, which is to help people in need. Now, the scale of the devastation here is colossal, which is exactly why it is so important that nobody be throwing around false statements or distracting people from the very real and urgent needs on the ground. I was at the FEMA Command Center, saw the work that's happening, part of which, of course, is through our department, trying to help restore roads, bridges, give people good route information so that they can get emergency vehicles in when the normal road or bridge.
Did Trump mention anything like that? The bridges, the roads? No. He just says they're giving $750 to one person. Or one family, whatever. Well, how about the roads in that? FEMA helps that.
Bridge has been washed out. All of us working together to solve problems for people and help them through this unbelievably shocking, devastating damage.
Have we not already seen what the vilification of immigrants does in the aftermath of Vance and Trump claiming that Haitians are eating dogs and cats? Like, doesn't this kind of rhetoric imperil the lives of innocent people?
Look, again and again, we have seen problems created for communities by somebody trying to use them for political advantage. And unfortunately, it has been true for hundreds of years that one of the most cynical things somebody can do is attack immigrants in order to try to score political points and to try to make literally anything into an excuse to attack immigrants. Most recently, a hurricane, but it doesn't matter what the issue is, a hurricane, housing prices, who knows, whatever it is, all they're going to say is, here's who you should blame, here's who you should hurt. When the real answer is, here's who we need to help, and how can we get together and do it?
There's another lie that's kind of taken hold on right-wing media that all FEMA is doing is just handing people $750 and calling it a day. Can you speak on that?
Yeah, so some internet lies are completely made up. Others start with some misunderstood fact and go from there. Probably the origin of that lie is that there are funds that give people an immediate check for help, about $700 for things like food.
Okay, wait a minute. Immediate help. That's the word there. Immediate.
Food, diapers, but that doesn't mean that's all that they get. It means that it's the first most immediate source of support. And what's extremely troubling, again, is to see this benefit that's going to people, this way of helping people, somehow twisted and used for what I can only assume are political purposes. And look, none of this is helping the responders who are actually on the ground. It is extraordinary and inspiring what's happening. We are seeing first responders getting through to people even as their own communities have been impacted. We're seeing extraordinary efforts coordinating different kinds of agencies, law enforcement, firefighters, the military troops that President Biden deployed to the area to try to help. I've seen amazing examples of what's being done. And by the way, when you get away from these internet lies and some of the most extreme voices, I've been really struck by how bipartisan our work with the states and the governors has been. Called several governors of impacted states. And you would never know, listening to the call between me and a governor, which ones belong to the same political party as I did and which ones didn't. It's just about how to get stuff done. And anybody else commenting on this should be following that same spirit.
What does it say that while the administration has been swift and thorough in dealing with this hurricane, that certain Republicans have used their time not to help, but to immediately try and vilify you guys? Like, that's what they're using their political capital, their time, their resources on, while people need help.
Well, look, at any problem that Americans are facing, I think you look at it and you can either be somebody who asks, how can I help with this? Or there are people who ask, how can I help use this? Or how can I use this instead of help?
Right.
So I'm going to stop it right there, because you're seeing what I've seen and heard, exactly what. Here's what I'm going to do. Let me stop sharing that. Okay. And no, I'm not good at doing all this stuff, but I do know one thing. I will go and look up things. I do not take. One second, I didn't bring it up. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's go over here. That's what I want. Okay. Okay, this is from FEMA, period. That is their website. This is our government FEMA channel information. Okay. Let me get this brought up so I can help you. Okay. And I tried to get this. See, it says the official website of the United States government. Here's how we know. It's the, okay. Okay. This was October 12th, 2024. Biden and Harris administrator approved $441 million to Helena survivors and $349 million in the fund of supporting communities. So here's the thing. There's so much money that's going to personal people and for the community. Okay? So, I mean, like, what's good if you have a house, but there's still no water or roads or any of that. So it's a combination of everything working together to fix up again. Okay. And it says Washington FEMA remains fully committed to assisting survivors affected by Helena and Milton. Responsible team worked tirelessly to address immediate needs. Here's something you guys don't know. Did you know that your own people up in other states come down to help to get those states back together? Nurses, doctors, firemen, gas people, electric people, that's what America is. And when did America come that our government has to support us from a natural disaster? We, the people, take care of each other. That's what we have always been. We are a community that helps each other. That's why the United States is the best. Okay, so, yesterday, FEMA administrators Dina Creswell returned to North Carolina to oversee ongoing responses and recovery efforts for Hurricane Helena, President Biden will visit in Florida tomorrow to support communities impacted by the Hurricane Milton. In response to the Hurricane Milton, President Biden approved a major disaster declaration for Florida that all FEMA to provide federal funding for 34 counties in addition to Muskogee tribe of the Indian of Florida. Okay, so these are tribes that have been here. They were here before we were, but they're getting the help. They're are Americas. They are Americas. You know, Trump has you all about the aliens, all these people coming in. None of us was born here. We're all aliens. Trump wants to shoot off his enemies within. He says it's within us. That means he wants to start clearing out what's in here of our USA, American people. Don't know how you can stay with this guy. Just that, him wanting to go and use the government, Navy, Army, and all that to attack we, the people of America, if we speak out against him. Sounds like Germany war. So, okay, 34 counties. This includes assistance to individuals and households, in addition to public assistance for emergency workers. Throughout the Southwest, FEMA personnel are on the ground working. They were working before the hurricane even got hit. Oh, by the way, did you know that Trump wants to stop the people who go and tell us about the hurricanes and all the weather and that? Did you know that? And if you think I'm lying, go search down. Okay. Throughout the Southwest, FEMA personnel are on the ground working closely with the state officials to ensure survivors receive a support they need. As of today, FEMA has approved over $441 million to assist for individuals affected by hurricane, and over $349 million in public assistance funding to help rebuild the communities. So, I mean, that's wait a minute. That's more than $750 a person. I mean, you got money coming to some people, but some of the money on the FEMA is going to build your communities back. So are you going to tell me that you want all that money, but you don't want your communities back together? Okay. Then it goes into the guidelines and that. Okay, I think I will have a copy of this on my post. Okay, so we'll stop sharing that screen. I'm back. So we did the book share. Okay, let's see. Okay, what do I want to go back to? Okay, let's go to our Fox channel. Wait a minute. 1 second. It automatically starts. Okay, wait a minute. Let me see which one I want. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Okay, watch. Okay. Keep forgetting I have to go over here. Okay. Let me get this guy up. Okay. These are people who are for Trump. This is what they're saying now. Okay. So this is what they write, on Trump's, I think it was, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. Okay, let me get over here. Okay. Watch Mega turn on Trump over a big mistake. Okay, here we go.
Somebody named Chief Trumpster on Twitter said, "This is awful." Someone said, "Nope, don't like this one." Someone said, "My goodness, he sucks." These are Trump supporters in response to a clip about Donald Trump, and we will break down how we got here and how the political landscape is shaped.
Okay, wait a minute. I want to point something out. Look down here. It says, so true, in America going to demographically raped, it must be done so legally. Okay. So let's continue.
Trump supporters in response to a clip about Donald Trump, and we will break down how we got here and how the political landscape is shaped over the past 24 hours. We have 20 days to go and no time to waste. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you're subscribed, and let's start with this clip from last night where Donald Trump is barely even coherent. I mean, just watch this.
32 days, Mr. Congressman. 32, she goes, and the election will be in 32 days.
Okay. 32. Now that's from last night. So is he in the right mind? No, it's 20 days. 20 days until we vote. Till November 5th. So your Trump is losing it, and you don't even know that.
32 days. The teleprompter crashed. 32 days. She kept going. I would have loved to, it kicked back in. It's called a kickback. Like some people know a lot about a kickback. It's called a kickback.
Kickback? That's Trump. Whenever he says about someone else doing this and doing that, that's what he is doing. He's been telling you all the time.
They know in this administration, but no, it's a kickback. It kicks back in.
So, okay, he needs to say it one more time. We don't get that it's a kickback. He refuses to release his cognitive test. He refuses to even take a cognitive exam. He won't go on 60 Minutes. He won't debate Kamala. And this is all we see of.
Oh, yeah. He won't release his medical file. He's 80-some years old. We, the American people, have the right to know if he is physically able to do this. Is he able to get up every day and come to work in that? Oh, by the way, he's been voted the most laziest president ever happened. He is the most hated president ever. He's a thug. He threatens people. And if you think I am saying that incorrectly, no. Just wait. Watch when he goes and talks about hurting people in his own, in here in America.
We can only extract how he's doing based on clips if we don't have an actual cognitive report. And if we're using clips like this, then he is not in good shape. You know, this clip is so bad that earlier today, I downloaded it, I airdropped it to my phone, and I sent it to my Trump voting friends. I showed them this clip and I said, how are you going to vote for this? I mean, they don't see these clips because Trump knows that his rallies, Trump knows that his Truth Social posts don't really break outside of his MAGA bubble. There's this MAGA ecosystem that his crazy stuff gets trapped in. So my normal Trump voting friends who work all day, every day, don't have time to see him say stuff like this. So my broader point is, send crazy Trump clips to your MAGA friends so they understand what is happening. There's this clip from today. JD Vance says, for the first time this election cycle, that Donald Trump didn't lose the election. Well, he says that in different words.
And the second question, what message do you think it sends to independent voters when you do not directly answer the question, did Donald Trump lose in 2020?
So the question was, what direction does it send to independents when you won't answer this question? It's a little bit muffled.
Okay, here's the point. Watch how long it takes this guy to really come up with an answer. You know, did Trump lose in 2020? Yes, but he won't admit it. Vance will not admit that Trump lost. How do we know Trump lost? He went to every court and lost all the cases. Excuse me. Excuse me. But let's watch this guy not really answer the question.
Sir, look. First of all, on the election of 2020, I've answered this question directly a million times. No, I think there are serious problems in 2020. So did Donald Trump lose the election? Not by the words that I would use.
So he said it right there, not by the words that I would use. What other words are there? Donald Trump refused to concede the election. He never called in the same way that Hillary Clinton did. Don't draw the equivalency there. Hillary Clinton called Donald Trump to concede in 2016. Trump never conceded to Biden to this day. He never even showed up to the inauguration, which is unprecedented. Now he's skipping out of interviews, skipping out of debates. And this brings us on to some clips today that I think are hilarious. Well,
okay, let me come back into here and talk. How many of you can honestly say that Trump won 2020? And if you really think Trump won 2020, you really are not paying attention in this world. Most of you care about the children. Well, what are you going to do when your children has to be under a dictator? Oh, that's right. Trump already started it. Look, can't think of Roe v. Wade's the right for us women to choose our own body about abortion or not. And they're not stopping there. Your fertility drugs, you can't even get that. They broke that down. They want America to grow, get us prosperous, get us more people. But do you understand that people are having less and less children due to that you can't afford them? You know, even the religious people are not having the children they used to have. It takes both mother and father and children that are old enough to work, to put food on their plate, to pay their bills. Do you think your Trump really cares? He didn't even pay his bills that over 200 of his employees dropped out yesterday. 200. Not one, not two, not three people, not 50. 201 day dropped out. They can't support them. All that money unions give to Trump went to his legal fees. If he's such a billionaire, why isn't he paying his own lawyer fees? Why isn't he paying the bills that, like, he owns almost $500 million. I'm sorry, my brain's going down. But he owns all this money. He didn't even put up his to be released in shit. He did not pay his bond to be released. If he's a billionaire, why don't, you're supposed to put your money up. Why does Donald Trump need to be, what is it called? Have immunity? No other person ever thought about having immunity. We, the people, pick who comes into office. Not Trump. Not Trump. Like I said before, he is a dictator. He wants to be dictator from his own words, his words, on day one. Well, let me tell you, if you're going to be one day, if someone gave you $1 million one day, are you going to go and spend it? Yeah. If you got that power, you are going to be a dictator the rest of your life. He hates women. He rapes women. He cheats on his taxes. And this is what you got. He got conned for he's been convicted of 34 felony, I think it's felony, charges. He keeps going and having delays. He didn't even pay Gianni, whatever his name is, his bill for his taxes. I mean, for his being a lawyer. Okay? This guy never. Oh, yeah, by the way, he's not wanted in a lot of states that, how do I want to say, big stadiums and that. That's like him at the, what was that, the 500, what is that, the race car thing? Okay. He stood there like this, like people seen him. He wasn't even there. He was on the outside of just putting a hand up. He's fake. He is so fake, like his tan lines. So I'm going to re-add this. Now, this is Fox. Okay. This is Fox. This is the information y'all get from Fox. Oh, by the way, Fox has even turned on him now. Okay? Just to let you know, Fox have turned against Trump now.
Not really hilarious. Jessica Tarlov is going off on the Fox News hosts like Jesse Waters, and it's pretty cathartic, but it's funny to see Jesse Waters flounder on live TV. To lay the groundwork, Donald Trump spoke to women voters in Georgia, which is a battleground state, and he said some wild stuff. Take this clip, for example.
I got a call from Katie Britt, a young, just a fantastically attractive person from...
Attractive? Why does it have to do with the politics? See, he thinks of only his penis. That's the only thing he thinks of it.
Alabama. She's a senator. And she called me up like emergency, because an Alabama judge had ruled that the IVF clinics were illegal and they have to be closed down. A judge ruled. And she said, friends of mine came up to me and they were so angry. I didn't even know they were going, it's fertilization. I didn't know they were even involved in it. Nobody talks about it. They don't talk about it.
Oh, yeah. You know, we want to go and have a lot more kids. Make the population of America bigger. The guy doesn't even know what that means, the reproduction system.
But now that they can't do it, she said, I was attacked in a certain way. I was attacked. And I said, explain IVF.
He called it IVS.
Very quickly. And within about 2 minutes, I understood it.
So he didn't know what IVF was until he was almost 80 years old. He didn't know what NATO was until he was the president of the United States. And Congresswoman Sidney Kamla-Gardove said, pretty sure the father of IVF would know what IVF is before pushing for the Dobbs decision that enabled it to be banned. Trump called himself the father of IVF in the same interview, and that is what prompted Jessica Tarlov to go off. Watch this clip.
There are other women at the table.
What were you offended by? Let's hear it.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you asked. I was offended by him calling himself the father of IVF and then saying that Senator Katie Britt is young and fantastically attractive, as if that's relevant at all to her concerns about her friends who have used fertility treatments in order to become pregnant. Mm-hmm. I was offended by the fact that he was asked by a voter, why is the government involved in women's basic rights? And he answered with saying, I think it's great. For 52 years, all the legal scholars, the best legal scholars, Democrats, Republicans, both of them, have wanted.
Yeah. Did you know you women wanted Roe v. Wade demolished? Scholars? Who's scholar? What scholar? He doesn't name a scholar. He just uses words thinking that describes exactly to make it true. He just skirts over it. He did not name one scholar. He doesn't name one woman who wanted this.
Wanted to get rid of it. And that's what I've done here. That is not at all how the legal scholars feel or how the American populace feels. And to the questions about lowering the prices of things, again, no real answer. I'm glad I know more about how donuts are made or whatever was going on there. But I don't think anyone walked away from that thinking that he had any sort of empathy for what's going on in women's lives all over the country. I mean, he kicked it off actually by kind of laughing at the Amber Thurman story. There was, Harris brought up that the family had put out a prebuttal, and he laughs and he says, we're going to have higher ratings, which seems pretty cruel. You could use that moment to say, I am so sorry that young woman, a mother of a 6-year-old boy, lost her life.
Jessica Tarlov absolutely destroyed Jesse Waters right there. And nothing about what Jessica Tarlov said is funny. The substance is very serious. But it's funny that Jesse Waters asked, what could you possibly be offended by? And Jessica Tarlov said, well, actually, I'm glad you asked.
What were you offended by? Let's hear it.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you asked.
Okay, so there you go. Fox, going and saying something like that. What made you offended? You, as an American, a male, you don't find it offensive that the first thing that person's talking about, a lady, is she's attractive? What's that have to do with morals of this? He goes and puts down women. He thinks women are second-class citizens. That is what Roe v. Wade was all about. He put us down as second class before we even have. Next thing he's going to do is take our rights to vote. And if you think I'm wrong, fine. But I'm not wrong. I am not wrong. This guy will take everything away from us. He wants to make it a dictator. Now, who in the world does he admire? The Chinese and Russia. Aren't they dictators? That's who he likes. He wants to be a dictator.
And then she absolutely destroys him. And when she brings up Donald Trump having no empathy, she actually cites this exact clip where Donald Trump says every scholar wanted Roe v. Wade overturned after a woman asks about abortion being a necessary right. Just watch how unhinged and disjointed this answer is.
So, facing the question of abortion, women are entitled to do what they want to and need to do with their bodies, including their unborn. That's on them, regardless of the circumstance. Some are necessary to save their own lives. Why is the government involved in women's basic rights?
Right. Good. I think it's great, and I'm glad you asked it. For 52 years, this issue has torn our country apart. Every legal scholar.
Torn? When has it been torn? We as women, I know, weren't torn. Our mouths was not torn. That is his mind. That is his mind. And if you don't think he's had other women have abortions, then you're more of a fool than I think you are.
Great ones. Every lawyer, but the Democrats, the Republicans, the liberals, the conservatives, they wanted it brought out of the federal government and brought back to the states for a vote of the people. And like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, life of the.
Yeah, but once you go and bring it to state, stop and think about that. One state will say, oh, yes, you can, if it's your life, yes, you can have an abortion. But when you left it up to state, you got states that say, no, nothing, none, no reason. Did you know there are so many women right now who've died because the doctors couldn't perform an abortion? Why? Because they will be arrested. Did you know all these gynecologists are all going to retire or leaving because they can't do it because they don't want to be arrested? Now, did you vote for him to go and kill Roe v. Wade? Well, I know I didn't. Even though I'm not in bearing child years, but I would never take that away from a woman. Remember, women are second-class citizens. If you do not agree with 100% of him, there is nothing.
Mother.
Again,
strongly believe, you have to follow your heart. Some people don't. It's a very small percentage, but you have to follow your heart. But
It's just everything he's saying is absolute BS. And the fact that he bragged about overturning Roe v. Wade after somebody asked about it being necessary is why Jessica Tarlov is going off. Watch this next clip.
Story.
We are the worst. I would also just like to say that it's getting a little exhausting to hear about Kamala's crisis with men constantly when Donald Trump's crisis with women is bigger.
I mean, she's absolutely right. It's funny because in this clip, Trump says that this was dividing the country for 52 years or whatever he said. And in reality, it wasn't really a problem until after you overturned Roe v. Wade, until the Dobbs decision was made. And now it is something that is dividing people en masse across the country.
Okay, so there's that one. Let me come back. Oh, wrong direction. I don't even know if I shared that. I'm sorry if I didn't share it. Sorry about that. But here's the thing. We have never seen where we, the people, have had to lose our rights Remember, I said before, he said it. I quote, I don't, hey, I just want your vote. I don't care about anything else. After I get your vote, you're going to never have to vote again. If you can't believe anything I'm saying, go look up about him and that's his old commanders of military are going to Kamala to Harris because he has no respect for anyone and he only cares about the dollar. Now let me go with that part. Did you know that when we were suffering with COVID, that he sent shots in that over to Russia for Putin so he don't get COVID? Let's see about that. And it's been proven. And did you know that Trump is still talks to the other foreign enemies, like Putin and what is his name, Quine Chang, whatever. The other dictators. Did you know that's against the policy of America? I can't recall the name of it, but there is. You're not allowed to have interaction with other foreign countries of it. He's not the president no more. Watch how he backs out of questions like that. He doesn't want to discuss it because he knows he can go to jail for it. That's treason. But what's the difference? He committed treason down in Mar-a-Lago. But then again, and you know why he's not behind bars? Oh, it would be interference with his presidential. Let me put it this way. Trump, you're only applying for a job. You're applying for a job. It's not guaranteed you would get that job. And you're going to say, oh, but we will vote you in. As a board member would say, you'd have to have all the board members agree. Well, we, the people of America, not all of us agree. You're applying for a job that you lost and still to this day cannot admit that you lost. All these court system has said you lost. There was no interference. None. Okay. Let me get this one up. Okay, here we go. Oh, I want to do that. So, and add it to. This is Michael Popak. I don't know. Okay. This is called legal AF. Yeah, legal AF. Okay. Now he owns a lot of podcasts, their own little network of channels and that. Okay, this is a brand new one, but he has other channels in that too. So here we go. Trump mega hurricane stuns ends in arrests. Okay.
In the path of Hurricane Helene and Milton, why are they being delayed? Why do they have to stand down because of threats from armed militia and people who are using guns and weapons to threaten FEMA workers? Why?
Because that is part of Trump's allies. Isn't that what are the people who went and stormed the Capitol? Isn't that who stormed our Capitol? Or Annette?
Because we got a candidate for the presidency who runs around with his vice president, scaring the bejesus out of everybody and telling them that FEMA is the enemy, that FEMA are government contractors working for, the deep state, that they have no interest in mind, that they're working on helping illegal immigrants over Americans. And now that has delayed the actual work of FEMA with 1,200 workers, for instance, who are all they're doing is their civic duty and lowly paid at that in places like North Carolina. And they gotta confront or be confronted by a guy named William James Parsons, 44 of North Carolina, who's now been charged with a misdemeanor. I love the name of this misdemeanor in North Carolina. Going armed to the terror of the public. Okay, kind of is what it sounds like. He had a handgun and a rifle. He sat outside of a relief center that was operating out of a convenience store or a grocery store in North Carolina and got arrested as a result. And he's not the only one. In Rutherford County, North Carolina, armed militia. Okay, talk about posse comitatus. Armed militia stopped relief workers from doing their job to the point where the National Guard had to be called out. And every moment that a FEMA relief worker isn't delivering aid to a person in distress, to a person who's been impacted by one of these two hurricanes, is a minute too much. What upside down world have I entered? It's the one, and this is why people, when you think, I love these people, they say Donald Trump is the candidate of unity. He's a unity candidate. He's going to unify this country. He is. He's actually, in order to gain political points and sport, and for political sport, he's attacking FEMA, just like they attacked the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, and Anthony Fauci during COVID. It's always, this is the dictator's playbook. Jail the scientists, jail the people that are trying to help you. Rely on me. This is right out of the dictator's playbook. This is Stalin. This is the guy with the funny little mustache in Germany. And now it's Donald Trump. And now that he's successfully scared the crap out of his followers and his cult followers to get a vote, now what? What are you going to do instead? There's no MAGA FEMA, right? There's no MEMA. They don't have a parallel. They have a shadow government. They have a shadow government in exile ready to take the White House, handpicked by the Heritage Society and Leonard Leo. They've got their cabinet ready. They've got 5,000 employees that are going to descend on Washington. They got all that ready, but they don't have a backup parallel FEMA.
Here we go. Can you dispute this? This is really what's happening. He got his malicious people, I can't say the word, to attack FEMA workers. They can't do their job because what Trump said. Because Trump doesn't want things fixed. He wants them to be bad so he can go and say, oh, Biden didn't do this, Harris didn't do that. Huh. But here's the point. Harris and Biden did so much for the last 4 years. Our stock market is up high. Our unemployment is low as it's ever been. It has broken records after records. And right now, like I said, anyone that works for the government, they're going to lose their jobs. So that means if you get a Social Security check, there's no one going to work on that to get you your Social Security check, because he plans on firing all of them. He's starting in the White House and works outwards. So if you are the CEO or whatever, director of whatever, you're going to be out the door. He's going to put a mindless little toot like Vance in his spot, so you don't get your checks. He doesn't want you to have overtime pay. He doesn't want you to survive. He wants that 1% that are in the billionaires, not millions anymore, the billionaire club, to secede. Now, I hope some of you will go and look at other dictator places. Ask some people who've come from other countries and they come over to here why. They would leave their families because there was only enough for one person to come over. Why do you think all the scientists left Germany? The brilliant. I mean, Germans were so brilliant. All their scientists left there because they could not have any freedom of their own. Okay, I can't remember the rest of this, so let me see. Okay, here we go.
They're not what Donald Trump shows up with Billy Graham's son tossing paper towels at a crowd, brought a tractor trailer filled with food. That's not going to do it, Donald. And then you left. Then you and your circus left, and you left behind more in your wake than even that hurricane.
Oh yeah, because you know what else that stopped? Your FEMA people had to stop because there has to be so much in the area around the old President Trump. So the roads were blocked and all that. All he did, is make it worse for the FEMA workers, for you to get your help. He delayed it. He did it as a political thing. He doesn't do anything for caring of people. That's who he is.
And then FEMA's like, great, that was a great tambourine shaking event. He can't replace what the federal government can do. What the old adage used to be, the government is my enemy until I need a friend. Now, Donald Trump has destroyed that adage. They're afraid of, they think the FEMA is the enemy. They've been brainwashed into believing that the people there to help them, other Americans helping them, there to help them, are the enemy. I mean, what do they think God's will is? God, if you want to believe in that gospel, is sending you FEMA to help you. And I don't think it's helping to have armed guards walking around, armed militia trying to interfere with unarmed FEMA workers, right? But this is where we're at. I mean, I'm glad that I can report that William James Parsons was picked up by the Sheriff's Department in North Carolina for an armed weapon and going around to the terror of the public. I got it. But the fundamental issue here is what's been created by Donald Trump. He comes into a town that's a battleground state, but also has a hurricane. He exploits it to his benefit, claiming that the government / Biden Harris are incompetent and FEMA's incompetent. And then he ties it together and conflates it with the other BS that they're running on, which is that illegal immigrants are now getting FEMA money. Why? Because they have to fit it into some narrative in order to scare people, in order to get a vote. And then they interfere with the operations of the real FEMA, who are really trying to provide real help to real people and other Americans helping Americans. And then they noisily leave and go on to the next battleground state or next rally or next Newsmax or Fox News interview. And what do they leave behind? They leave behind people in need who are afraid and are being denied aid by armed militias. If this is the country you want, some people might be thinking, did I just walk into a movie review? Is Popak reviewing that movie from last year, Civil War? No, but. Is this a long lost episode of The Boys? No. This is what this is the apocalyptic hellscape that Donald Trump will create once he's in office.
Okay. I'm going to take that down. By the way, he's a lawyer, a very well-known lawyer. So what I want to say, there is more that I could go and show you guys, but I know what you're going to say. No. I mean, you're going to say, no, this is not, I don't know what I'm talking about. I wished I didn't. I really wish I didn't know what I was talking about, but I do. A lot of yins weren't around in the 70s, okay, when the Vietnam War and that, okay? When how do I want to say? There's a line out of a song, I should say. Hey, people, look over there. That guy got a gun in the air or something like that. That means that guy can over there kill you because he is a soldier. He is the one to make it. Look around you, people. Stop feeling that you're just on a daily basis of just living. If you want the future for your kids and their kids and after, look, get involved. I bet you all didn't even know that back in the 60s and 70s that they started to make it that the children didn't know how to read, write, and all that. Oh, yeah, there was teachers trying to help that and get you to learn and read and write. But stop and think about it. One, American history. What did you over and over and over and over every year talk about? 1776. Stop and think about it. Did you ever have anything that was going on now of the day you was learning? No. You learned history from the other stuff. And it was the exact same history you learned last year. Now let's go for the math one. Did you know in the time I was going through elementary to the high school that math had changed different ways? When I started out, it was a sly roller, okay? And then we went to, like, I think it's the Chinese one, where the beads. Okay. Not only didn't you just learn a little bit about the slide rule, now the next year you got to learn the bead system. Okay. Then became on the add, subtract, and multiplication. They came up with a new style of doing it. Now the people today will say, "Hey, yeah, we don't do it that way. We don't go from right to left, when we divide or when we add. Oh, we add left to right. No, people are adding nowadays from left. Oh, my hands are okay. Before we used to go and add from the right column over to the left till you full dollars. Not now. You go from the full dollars from your left side all the way to your right side. Now, don't you think that is confusing to the kids? To the parents who are trying to teach their kids? Stop and think about that. That's what our government has gone to. Okay. I digress on that. It's always bothered me. I was the generation that went from one generation to another. Every year, we had a new way of doing math or English and just our English. You can get 3 English teachers, and all 3 English teachers will say this, that, and that. They're all 3 different. So, in America, people have become very lazy on knowing what is going on around them. They don't got the gumption to go and stick up for themselves or for their next door neighbor. How many people do you know of your next door neighbors? Honestly, maybe say hi. I got neighbors that, oh man, don't even speak to them. Seriously. So, this president this man who's applying for a job in the highest job in America, applying, has no right to be there, and mentally he is it doesn't have it there. He started getting Alzheimer's, or is it the other one? Dementia. Yes. Did you know he really shits his pants and farts all the time? So, let me see. We're at a state dinner over wherever, and you want your president to be shitting in his diaper? I don't think so. I don't want that representing me. And the other countries, except for the dictator countries, well, they like Trump because he's not smart. They're smarter than him. And he thinks, oh, they love him, love him, love him. Well, Trump is a blonde. Trump is a blonde. Well, I don't know if he dies it or not, or whatever. Think about it. But okay, I'm going to stop this right now. Let's put it this way. It's up to you. But I'll tell you what, if I find out you're a Republican, and I'll put it this way, no. If Trump wins, I'm going to laugh at y'all. I mean, literally laugh, because you aren't too intelligent. And I know I'm not the most intelligent person. But you're more stupid than I am. Because you're not listening. Someone sent me a little video and saying about the $750. Well, that person didn't realize. Go in more where Harris says that was just a thing to get you on your feet of an emergency. Just like what Red Cross would. When a fire in your house, they give you a hotel for a night. That's an emergency. The government never said it would take care of you. You are to take care of yourself to help us Americans to have what we have, to have paved roads, to have to have water or anything, to have your businesses. That is what we, the American people, are. We work together, not the way Trump wants. We're terrible people. Well, I'm telling you what, he doesn't talk for me. I'm not a terrible person. I think this world does need help, but however, not as bad as he's making it. He's so dumb that he even went to Chicago and went, not Chicago, Detroit, and degraded them while he's in that city. While he was in that city, he degraded, I'm sorry, he degraded them. Did you know what they said after he left? We ain't voting for you. Stop and think how much he degrades everyone, anyone, and everyone, especially women, especially. Yesterday, he talked to a big famous guy who, I can't think what he's a mathematic thing. Told the guy he doesn't know what, he makes mistakes. That Trump says, I don't make mistakes. I've always been good at math. Well, how come you lost 13 companies? Stop it all off. You lost a casino where it just makes money. He started a college, and there were no certificates or anything. It was not a real college. So this is the guy you really have respect that he can do it with good economy and that. He didn't. He was having what Obama started. And if you guys don't understand the trickle down effect of everything, so this president went and put us up in a fair amount. He got us health insurance and stuff like that kind of stuff. Okay, Obamacare. The economy was up, not the best, I'm going to say. But however, it was when Trump came in, he had the economy that the Democrat went. When Trump left, he had us over trillions of dollars in debt. Trillions. Not millions, not billions, trillions of dollars in debt. You know what Biden did? Him and Harris has got that we're up there. Our stocks are going high. We got more people working. We got more people taking care of our elderly. Did you know what during Trump that we had such a shortage of nurses, aides, and nurses, and people who taking care, people to pick up the garbages, People didn't even go to the store, and there wasn't people to. So businesses went to, oh, hey, we don't need a person now. We'll just use the machine. Let them check themselves out. So you got to see what the whole big picture of everything is. And again, for those who are going to, when they see this, doesn't understand what's going on, think I'm goofy, stupid, whatever, but I'm not. I've always been a fence person. I want to look on both sides. I want to look ahead too. What? One side might have some parts good, one side might have. But it's what comes in to match up for the better. Now, I know I can't remember and say the words all I want to say. That's me. I can't do that. But I'll tell you what, I'm smart enough to go look and see what is really going on. And I don't just take one channels or two. You know, all the main media are all representatives of mega. All Republicans are made of mega and that. Now, that's why you weren't getting the real news. Maybe you need to go and look around. And like I said earlier, Fox even doesn't want to go with his lies anymore. Fox had to pay billions of dollars because of all the lies they backed up with Trump. Well, there was a lot more I wanted to talk to you about, but my voice and my mouth is getting so dried. Just watch who's around you. I live around a lot of Republicans. And I always want to go up there and say, well, did you know Trump wants to take your vets pays away from you and break down the vet hospitals and that? Did you know that he wants to take your Social Security and your SSIs and all that off of you? And if you think I'm lying there, I'm not. It's out of his own mouth. Don't know exactly where the quote was, but it is out there. So that is my little speech for today. 1 hour and a half. And I did show some. I do have more thing. I can bring up something. Wait a minute. I'll see if I still have it. Of what Trump accomplished and what Biden has accomplished. Let me see if I could find it. Okay. Okay, I think this is it. Maybe, let me see if it's where. Trying to find out if I have the part where Trump is. Well, that's going to have to be another day because I really have to look. But the comparison of what Trump did while he was in office and what Biden has done while he's been in office, you'd be amazed. Okay. I'll have to look at that'll have to be another one. Okay. Y'all have a blessed, blessed night. And I hope Trump doesn't win. I really, really hope the guy doesn't win. Because all he does is spew lies. I think when he was in office, he spewed over 23,000 lies. Amen and have a blessing.